My beloved child, I need you to listen with your whole heart right now, because what I am about to tell you is not light, and it is not random. I am not speaking to the crowd. I am speaking to you. I have watched you carry questions you never voiced, fears you hid behind smiles, and thoughts you pushed down because you didn't want to face what they might mean. And today I am opening a door you did not expect to open. There is something you have sensed for a long time, a quiet tension, a pressure in your spirit. You told yourself it was stress, timing, circumstances, or exhaustion. But you knew, deep down, that something was off. You felt it when the room went silent and your thoughts grew loud. You felt it when success didn't satisfy you the way you thought it would. You felt it when the old answers stopped working. I saw every moment you tried to ignore it, and I did not turn away. Here is the hard truth I need to break to you with love. The season you were trying to hold on to is already ending. Not because you failed, not because you weren't enough, but because I refuse to let you stay where you have outgrown the space meant to shape you. I know that sounds unsettling. I know it makes your chest tighten. Stay with me. Don't skip. Something huge is waiting for you if you let this land. You thought the delay meant denial. You thought the silence meant abandonment. But I was not silent. I was restraining what you weren't ready to carry yet. There were things you asked me for that would have crushed you if I had released them too early. I protected you even when you accused me in your heart. I stayed close even when you pulled away. And now, the protection is shifting into preparation. I need you to hear this clearly. Some of the discomfort you feel is not the enemy attacking you. It is me confronting you. Not to shame you, but to awaken you. You cannot step into what I am preparing without letting go of what made you feel safe. Comfort has been your hiding place, and familiarity has been your excuse. I am about to disrupt both. You have been praying for clarity, but clarity always comes with responsibility. Once you see, you cannot pretend you don't know. That is why I waited. That is why I let the questions build. That is why the old paths feel heavy now. You are standing at the edge of a truth that will change how you see yourself and how you see me. I know part of you wants to scroll away from this moment. I know another part of you wants to rush to the end. Don't skip. Stay till the end of this unfolding. I am not here to scare you. I am here to tell you that what is breaking is not your future. It is the illusion you were living under. You are not late. You are not forgotten. But you are being summoned. And once you understand what that means, you will realize why everything had to unfold exactly this way. There is a reason your rest has been interrupted lately, even when your body is tired. I have been stirring what you tried to silence. You assumed it was anxiety, or pressure, or the weight of responsibility, but it was my voice pressing through the noise. I was not trying to overwhelm you. I was trying to wake you before you settled into a version of life that looks stable but starves your spirit. You've been negotiating with yourself, telling yourself, just get through this season, then I'll listen. But I need you to understand something difficult and sacred at the same time. The waiting you feel is not passive. You are already being positioned, already being weighed, already being trusted with more than you realize. That's the part you didn't expect. That's the part that makes this news heavy. Here is what you haven't been told before, what I am revealing now. You are not just being prepared for something good. You are being prepared to carry weight, influence, responsibility that will require a different version of you. The version that survived will not be enough for what's coming. And that is why certain habits feel exposed, why certain relationships feel strained, why your old coping mechanisms no longer work. I am removing the crutches gently, but deliberately. You wondered why I didn't explain everything at once. It's because revelation without timing becomes fear, and I refuse to let fear lead you. But now, you are strong enough to hear this. Not everyone who walked with you can walk where you are going. That realization hurts more than you expected. You tried to bring everyone along. You tried to shrink yourself so no one would feel left behind. I saw that sacrifice. And I'm telling you now, it was never meant to cost you your calling. This is where many turn back. This is where many choose comfort over becoming. I'm not forcing you. I am inviting you. But invitation still requires response. You cannot remain undecided much longer. Neutral ground is disappearing, and the tension you feel is the pressure of choice approaching. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you if you allow me to finish what I started. You keep asking me for confirmation, but I have been watching for surrender. Confirmation explains. Surrender transforms. And transformation is the only way you can hold what I am about to place in your hands. You are not losing control. You are being taught how to trust me with it. I know this part feels uncomfortable. I know your mind is racing ahead, trying to predict outcomes, trying to protect itself. Be still. You don't need the full map yet. You need courage for the next step. That is all I have ever required. When you take that step, the ground will meet you. It always has. Let this sink in slowly. The unease you feel is not a warning to stop. It is a signal that growth is happening. You are not breaking. You are shedding. And once you understand what you were carrying that was never meant to follow you forward, the fear will begin to loosen its grip. Don't rush past this. Don't scroll away now. What I am about to show you next will change how you interpret everything you thought was working against you. What I am about to tell you may challenge the way you interpret your past, but I need you to let me reframe it through truth instead of regret. You've been replaying moments you wish you could undo, decisions you would rewrite if given the chance. You labeled them as mistakes, delays, detours. But I never wasted a single one of them. Not one tear. Not one loss. Not one night you thought you were alone. Here is the revelation you weren't expecting. Some of the pain you endured was not caused by disobedience. It was caused by proximity. You were close to things, environments, and people that could not go where I was leading you, and the friction you felt was the cost of outgrowing them. I allowed it not to harm you, but to sharpen your discernment. You needed to learn the difference between being needed and being called. You often asked me, why did I have to go through that? And I stayed quiet, not because I didn't care, but because the answer would have overwhelmed you then. Now you are ready. The endurance you gained, the patience you were forced to develop, the wisdom that came from disappointment, these are not side effects. They are requirements for what's ahead. You could not have skipped them even if you tried. There is something else you must know, and this is where the weight of the message increases. You are closer than you think. Closer to clarity. Closer to movement. Closer to a shift that will make sense of the waiting. That is why resistance has intensified. That is why distractions suddenly feel louder. That is why old temptations try to pull you back into familiar cycles. The enemy never fights what isn't about to move. I need you to stay alert now. Not afraid, alert. You are stepping into a stretch of alignment where small choices carry greater impact. What you tolerate now will decide what you carry later. I am asking you to trust my corrections, even when they bruise your pride. I am asking you to release what you thought you needed, so I can give you what you actually asked for. You keep wondering if you're strong enough. Let me answer that plainly. You are becoming strong enough because you stayed. You didn't quit when it would have been easier. You didn't numb yourself completely. You kept coming back to me, even with questions, even with frustration. That persistence matters more than you know. Don't skip this part. Let it settle. Stay till the end of this unfolding. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a reward for perfection, but as a response to faithfulness. You are not standing on fragile ground. You are standing on layers of preparation you didn't even realize were forming beneath you. Soon, very soon, you will look back at this moment and understand why I asked you to listen instead of rush, to trust instead of control, to release instead of cling. And when that understanding comes, you will realize that the hard news I began sharing with you was never meant to break your heart. It was meant to break the ceiling you've been living under. I am not finished speaking to you. What comes next will require your full attention, because it will redefine how you see your future and your place within it. I need you to understand why I have been narrowing your focus, even when you wanted more options. You mistook limitation for loss, but it was precision. I was removing noise so you could hear direction. Every door that quietly closed, every opportunity that dissolved without explanation, every plan that didn't come together, I was not withholding from you. I was protecting the trajectory of your life. Here is the deeper truth I have not yet spoken aloud. What I am preparing to entrust to you will shape more than just your own story. That is why I have been firm with you. That is why I did not rush your healing. That is why I let you sit with unanswered prayers longer than you liked. You are not being shaped for ease. You are being shaped for impact. You sensed it, haven't you? That subtle awareness that your life is meant to intersect with others in ways you didn't plan. Moments where your words carried more weight than you expected. Times when people leaned on you without knowing why. That wasn't coincidence. That was rehearsal. I was letting you feel the edges of what is coming without overwhelming you with the full picture. This is where the news becomes heavier, but also more hopeful. You will not be able to return to who you were. Once this shift completes, going back will feel impossible. It can sound frightening, but it is actually mercy. I am not taking something from you. I am freeing you from cycles that kept you smaller than your capacity. You asked me to use you. This is what the answer looks like. I know you still want guarantees. I know you want reassurance that you won't fail, that you won't lose people you love, that the risk will be worth it. I won't promise comfort. I will promise presence. I will not promise clarity all at once. I will promise guidance step by step. And I will promise this: I will not abandon you halfway through what I initiated. Pay attention now. This is not a moment to rush past. Don't skip what I am saying here. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, but it requires your agreement to let me lead in ways you haven't allowed before. Trust is no longer theoretical. It is becoming practical. You are about to be asked to move when it doesn't make sense to others. To say no when it would be easier to say yes. To stand firm when compromise looks attractive. These choices will define the next chapter of your life. Not loudly, quietly, faithfully, powerfully. I know you fear getting it wrong, but hear me clearly. Obedience is not about perfection. It is about responsiveness. When you listen, when you adjust, when you return to me even after missteps, I can redirect everything. What I cannot work with is refusal to move. Let the weight of this settle without panic. You are not behind. You are not late to this revelation. You are right on time. And the reason this feels intense is because alignment always does. When heaven and earth begin to agree over your life, resistance increases. But so does authority. Very soon, you will recognize the moment when this all shifts from preparation to action. When it does, you will know exactly what to do, not because I shouted, but because I have been teaching you to recognize my voice all along. And when you step forward, you will realize that the hard news I broke to you was never meant to leave you afraid. It was meant to prepare you to rise. There is a quiet moment approaching that will test how deeply you trust me, because it will not arrive with noise or announcement. It will come disguised as an ordinary decision, a simple response, a small act of obedience that looks insignificant to anyone watching. But I need you to know this in advance. That moment will carry more weight than you realize. Heaven pays attention to what you do when the choice feels small. You've been waiting for something dramatic, a sign so clear it removes all doubt. But I am training you to move without spectacle, to recognize my leading without needing pressure or proof. That is maturity. That is where authority begins. When you no longer need to be pushed, only prompted. And you are closer to that place than you think. Here is another truth I have not yet spoken. The reason you felt a deeper separation lately is because I've been teaching you how to walk without leaning. Not without me, but without dependence on validation, reassurance, or approval from people who cannot see what I see. What I am about to do through you cannot be sustained by applause. It must be anchored in obedience. You may feel misunderstood in this next stretch. Not rejected, but unseen. That is not punishment. That is refinement. When your identity is no longer fed by being understood, it becomes unshakable. I am strengthening your inner core so that external shifts no longer derail you. This is how you remain steady when others panic. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end of what I am unfolding. Something huge is waiting for you, but it will not come the way you expect. It will come through alignment, through consistency, through faithfulness when no one is watching. That is where real power is released. You've asked me before if you were ready. Let me answer you now in a way I haven't before. Readiness is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to let fear decide. And you are learning that. Every time you moved forward while unsure, every time you chose integrity over convenience, every time you trusted me without understanding, you were being readied. There will be moments ahead when your emotions lag behind your obedience. That does not mean you are doing it wrong. It means you are doing it by faith. Feelings will catch up. Clarity will follow. Atmuwan must come first. That has always been the order. I am asking you now to guard your focus. Distraction will increase because momentum is building. Not everything that demands your attention deserves your agreement. Choose carefully what you give access to your mind, your time, your spirit. This next stretch requires intention. You are not walking toward uncertainty. You are walking into alignment. And alignment often feels like tension before it feels like peace. Let that reassure you instead of alarm you. What you are sensing is not danger. It is destiny drawing near. Very soon, something will click. Not loudly. Internally. A clarity that doesn't need explanation. And when it does, you will understand why I asked you to listen so closely, to stay so present, to not scroll past these moments. Because what I am preparing you to step into next will require the version of you that exists now, not the one you used to be. I am still with you, and I am still leading. You've prayed, use me, Lord, and this is how I am answering you right now. What is stirring in your spirit is not just for you. It is a fire meant to travel, to reach souls who are still waiting for truth to find them. When you give through Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, or PayPal, you are pouring oil into this flame so my word can run farther and burn brighter. I see every open hand, and I promise you this: seed released in faith never returns empty. It returns as harvest. Just as I said, give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing, I am watching to fulfill that promise personally in your life. The PayPal link is waiting for you in the video description, not as a transaction, but as an altar. This moment is prophetic. Don't delay it. So boldly now, and watch me open heavens over you and your household. There will come a moment when you realize the pressure you felt was not meant to crush you, but to clarify you. I have been tightening what surrounds you so you can see what truly matters. When Hopkins narrow purpose jargons. That is why distractions have lost their shine. That is why things that once thrilled you now feel hollow. I am not taking joy from you. I am redirecting it toward what will last. I need you to hear this without fear. The pace of your life is about to change. Not in chaos, not in confusion, but in intention. You will notice time responding differently to your obedience. When you move with me, delays lose their grip. When you hesitate, restlessness grows louder. This is not punishment. It is sensitivity developing. You are learning to feel alignment in your spirit before outcomes appear in your hands. You may wonder why I haven't explained everything yet. It's because explanation would tempt you to manage the outcome. And this next stretch cannot be managed. It must be trusted. I am inviting you into partnership, not control. When you let me lead, you will find yourself arriving at places you couldn't have planned, meeting needs you didn't know existed, speaking words that land with precision beyond your own understanding. There is something else unfolding quietly. Your courage is maturing. You used to need certainty before action. Now you are learning tact from conviction. That shift changes everything. Conviction does not wait for conditions to improve. It moves because truth has already settled inside you. This is how you will stand steady when circumstances fluctuate. Don't skip what I'm revealing here. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and it hinges on this understanding. Obedience is not loss. It is exchange. You lay down what limits you, and I entrust you with what expands you. You are not giving up freedom. You are stepping into it. You will soon notice a pattern breaking. Old reactions losing power. Old fears no longer dictating your choices. When that happens, don't rush to analyze it. Receive it. This is the fruit of every unseen decision you made when no one applauded. Every time you chose truth over comfort, every time you stayed when leaving would have been easier. I know part of you still asks, what if I miss it? Let me quiet that question. You will not miss what you are willing to follow. I am not hiding from you. I am guiding you. And guidance assumes movement. Keep moving. Keep listening. Keep responding. That is how clarity unfolds. Guard your heart in this season. Not by closing it, but by anchoring it. There will be voices that mean well but cannot discern where you are headed. Honor them without letting them steer you. Your path requires discernment more than consensus. I am teaching you to trust the witness within you, the quiet knowing that settles when you choose rightly. Very soon you will feel a release. Not because everything is finished, but because something foundational is complete. When that happens, breathe. Let the relief wash over you. You earned it through faithfulness. And from that place of steadiness, you will step forward with a confidence that doesn't need explanation. Remember this as you move ahead. I am not asking you to be fearless. I am asking you to be faithful. Fear may still whisper, but it no longer has authority. You do. And as you continue to walk with me, you will discover that the hard news I began sharing was never meant to burden you. It was meant to prepare you for the life that is now opening before you. I have been watching how carefully you weigh your steps lately, and I want you to know that your caution has not gone unnoticed. But now I am inviting you to loosen your grip just enough to let trust breathe. There is a difference between wisdom and hesitation, and you are learning to tell them apart. Wisdom listens and moves. Hesitation listens and stalls. I am teaching you the sound of my timing so you don't confuse patience with fear. Something important is shifting inside you right now. Your prayers are changing. They are no longer just requests for relief. They are becoming questions of alignment. You're asking, is this right? More than is this easy? That is not accidental. That is growth. That is evidence that your heart is tuning itself to my priorities instead of your comfort. Here is a truth that may surprise you. The clarity you seek will arrive after commitment, not before it. Light follows obedience. He always has. You've lived long enough to know that certainty is a poor leader, but faith is a faithful one. And faith does not shout. It steadies. That steadiness you feel in the middle of uncertainty. That's me. I need you to stay present now. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end of what I am revealing. Something huge is waiting for you, but it requires you to stop rehearsing what could go wrong and start recognizing what is already going right. You are not as fragile as you think. You are not one mistake away from losing everything. You are held. You may soon face a decision where both options look reasonable, but only one will carry peace beneath the surface. Learn to trust that peace. It won't scream for attention. It will rest quietly, confident that you will notice. When you choose it, you will feel a subtle release, as if a weight you didn't know you were carrying has been set down. I know you've been tempted to measure your progress by visible results. Let me recalibrate that for you. The most significant work happening in you right now cannot be photographed, posted, or proven. It is internal. It is foundational. And it is irreversible. Once truth settles in your spirit, it does not leave when circumstances change. You are entering a stretch where consistency will matter more than intensity. Small, faithful actions will carry greater power than grand gestures fueled by emotion. Don't underestimate the strength of showing up quietly, choosing rightly, and listening closely. This is how momentum builds without burnout. Pay attention to who and what energizes you now. Your spirit recognizes alignment even before your mind can explain it. There will be invitations that flatter you but drain you. Decline them without guilt. There will be assignments that humble you but strengthen you. Accept them without fear. I am refining your discernment so your yes and no carry authority. There is still more ahead, more revelation, more responsibility, more joy than you can currently imagine. But I will not rush you. I walk at the pace of your trust, and your trust is growing. I can see it in the way you pause before reacting, in the way you listen longer, in the way you return to me instead of retreating inward. Hold steady now. You are not waiting for permission. You already have it. What you are waiting for is confidence to match your calling. That confidence is forming even as you read this, even as you breathe, even as you choose not to scroll away. Remember this as you move forward. I am not asking you to carry tomorrow today. I am asking you to be faithful in this moment. When you do, the next step will reveal itself. And when it does, you will recognize it, not because it is loud, but because it feels true. I am still here, and I am still guiding you, step by step, into what has been prepared for you all along. I want to speak to the quiet courage you've been practicing without applause. The moments no one sees. The choices you make when there is no reward attached. This is where your strength has been forming, even when you doubted it was enough. I have been strengthening you from the inside out, because what is coming cannot be sustained by emotion alone. It requires roots. You are beginning to notice something different about the way you respond now. Situations that once pulled you into reaction no longer have the same grip. You pause. You breathe. You listen. That pause is not weakness. It is authority learning how to stand. When you stop reacting, you start discerning. And discernment is one of the greatest gifts I entrust to those I lead forward. There is a reason I have slowed certain things down just as others began to speed up. I needed you to see that momentum without alignment is dangerous. You are not late. You are being synchronized. When your spirit moves in step with my timing, what once felt delayed suddenly feels precise. This is not stagnation. This is calibration. Don't skip this truth. Stay till the end of what I am revealing. Something huge is waiting for you, and it begins with understanding this. You are no longer being shaped by pressure. You are being shaped by purpose. Pressure taught you endurance. Purpose will teach you clarity, and clarity will teach you peace. You may feel moments of loneliness in this stretch, even while surrounded by people. That does not mean you are disconnected. It means your inner world is changing faster than your outer world can keep up. Give it time. Alignment always feels isolating before it feels expansive. You are making room for relationships that meet you where you are going, not where you have been. I know you still replay certain conversations in your mind, wondering if you said too much or not enough. Release that. You are learning to speak from truth instead of defense. The shift will change how others hear you and how you hear yourself. Your voice is settling into its natural authority, and it no longer needs to prove anything. There will be moments ahead when silence is your instruction. Not because there is nothing to say, but because restraint will say more than words ever could. Trust me in those moments. Power is not always loud. Sometimes it is the confidence to wait, to watch, to move only when prompted. You have asked me before if the sacrifices were worth it. Let me answer you now. You haven't seen the full return yet. What you released created space. What you endured created capacity. What you learned created wisdom. And wisdom will open doors that talent alone never could. This is why I was careful with you. This is why I took my time. Don't rush ahead of what I am doing now. Stay present. Stay attentive. Stay open. The next shift will not feel like a dramatic break. It will feel like alignment clicking into place. A sense of rightness that doesn't need explanation. When that happens, follow it. You are not walking blindly. You are walking my trust refined through experience. Every step you've taken up to this point has trained you for what comes next. Nothing was random. Nothing was wasted. And nothing ahead will catch me by surprise. As you continue forward, remember this. You are not being asked to become someone else. You are being invited to fully inhabit who you were always meant to be. That realization will bring both relief and responsibility. Receive both with humility and courage. I am still unfolding this with you, and what I am leading you into next will confirm everything I have been preparing you for, quietly, steadily, faithfully, until now. Now listen closely, my beloved child, because this is where everything I have been revealing begins to settle into truth you can live by. You are not standing at the edge of uncertainty. You are standing at the threshold of understanding. The weight you felt was never meant to push you back. It was meant to anchor you forward. You are no longer guessing whether I am at work in your life. You are beginning to recognize my fingerprints everywhere you look. There is peace available to you now, but it is not the kind that comes from everything going your way. It is the kind that comes from knowing who goes with you. I am not sending you ahead alone. I am walking with you, within you, around you. When you move, I move. When you pause, I remain. You have never taken a single step outside of my sight or my care. I know the future still feels unwritten. That is intentional. Faith does not grow where everything is predictable. Trust does not deepen where outcomes are guaranteed. But hear me clearly, nothing ahead of you is unprepared for. I am already there. I have already accounted for the strength you will need, the wisdom you will require, and the grace that will meet you at every turn. Don't skip what I am about to say now. Stay till the end. Something huge has been waiting for you, and here it is. You are ready. Not because you have all the answers, but because you have learned how to listen. Not because you are fearless, but because you no longer let fear lead. Readiness is not perfection. It is availability. And you have made yourself available to me. You will still face moments of doubt. That does not disqualify you. You will still feel stretched. That does not mean you are failing. Growth always feels like tension before it feels like strength. When those moments come, return to what you know. Return to my voice. Return to the truth that I have been faithful to you in every season, including the ones you didn't understand at the time. I want you to walk forward now without rushing and without retreating. One step at a time. One obedient choice at a time. You don't need to carry the whole future, just today. Tomorrow will meet you when you arrive there. Grace is always waiting where obedience leads. Let go of the last traces of who you thought you had to be to earn love, approval, or purpose. You were never asked to perform for me. You were asked to trust me. And the trust has grown stronger than you realize. It shows in the way you choose truth over comfort. It shows in the way you pause instead of react. It shows in the way you keep returning to me, even when the path feels quiet. As this chapter closes, do not look back with regret. Look back with gratitude. Everything you've walked through has shaped you for what you are stepping into now. And as the next chapter begins, step forward with confidence, not in yourself alone, but in me who goes before you. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for what I am doing next in your life. Walk in peace. Walk in trust. Walk in the assurance that I am with you, always. Amen. You have just heard my heart, and now I am inviting you to move with me. This message does not end here. It multiplies when you choose to carry it forward with your generosity. As rivers flow where they are released, so will blessing flow where you sow. What you give today becomes breath in another soul tomorrow. You've whispered, "Lord, let my life matter," and I am telling you, this is one of those moments heaven notices. When you support through Super Thanks, YouTube memberships, or the PayPal link in the description, you step into my work as a co-laborer, not a spectator. I declare peace over your home, increase over your labor, and favor over your family as you give in faith. Do not hold back what I am prompting you to release. Act now, give generously, and watch me multiply it beyond what you imagine. Before you move on, I want you to do something sacred with this moment. If this message confronted you, awakened you, or stirred something deep within you, I'm asking you to hype this video now. Hype it because this hard news was never meant to stop with you. It was meant to reach the next heart that's been avoiding truth, the next soul standing at the edge of surrender. When you hype this video, you are helping carry my voice to those who don't even know they're searching yet. And as you do, let your like be a quiet agreement in your spirit, a sign that you received what I spoke and you're willing to let it move forward. Now, I want you to seal this moment with your voice. Don't let the revelation end in silence. In the comments, declare what this hard news awakened in you. Write what you're releasing, what you're stepping into, or simply declare, I receive the truth, even when it's hard. Let your words become a witness. Someone scrolling through those comments will recognize themselves in your declaration, and I will use it to pull them closer. This is not just engagement. It is testimony in motion. And if this message spoke to you as if it was written just for you, then hear me clearly. This channel is not random in your life. These are not videos you stumbled upon. These are moments I am using to speak when the world is loud and your spirit needs clarity. Subscribe, not out of habit but out of hunger. Subscribe because you want to stay where my voice is steady, where truth is spoken without compromise, and where your spirit is strengthened again and again. Join this place where I speak directly to you, season after season, word after word. Amen.